Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. This is going to be quick. We have won. Everybody has won. Commodore has won. The community has won. Everybody is going to walk away from this situation happy. And thank you, Commodore, for doing what we knew you were going to do, which was the right thing for your consumers, for your community. Your hardware, your choice. This was 4 hours ago at the time of this video, so 4:23. Your hardware, your choice, confirming our approach to firmware protection. Now, if you're late to the party, basically there was a firmware update 1.1.0 where they said, we're going to lock down the firmware somewhere in the future. Everybody argued about what it really meant and what it didn't mean. Then they did a blog post that tried to shed light on the problem, but really just made it more complicated and confusing. So we all talked about it in the community. We all asked Commodore to reconsider. We asked them to do the right thing. And here we are. Community, 2 weeks ago, we announced in a future update that we would be introducing firmware verification to ensure that only official Commodore firmware would be installed on your machine. The very best of intentions, and I truly believe that, to protect users from unintentionally bricking their devices. But this era of Commodore was born out of community. Yes. Values freedom of choice. Yes, the most. And with this plan, whilst then still in the process of being formed, ran counter to that value. Bless you. Thank you. So let me say the following clearly, succinctly, unequivocally. We will not prevent you from installing other firmware on your Commodore 64 Ultimate. There it is. There's no other way to make that as clear as possible. Yes, we still have concerns about people bricking their Ultimates. I'm still a little bit doubtful on that one. Listen, I'm sure it's happened, but a lot of you out there, my viewers, have said you have flashed Gideon's software on there and were able to recover it. So I'm not sure. We can take Commodore at their word by installing the wrong firmware. Maybe there is a version of Gideon's firmware out there that was bricking things for people, but a lot of you have told me that this doesn't ring true. Again, I'm not a hardware engineer. Yes, we still worry about the impact of return and replacement requests that result, as well you should be. But that's ultimately, I like that by the way, an us problem and not a you problem. Instead, we will present a clear disclaimer that community installed firmware patches or other modifications are at the owner's own risk, which is 100% perfect. Commodore cannot provide free support, free warranty service, or free replacements for machines bricked or damaged. As a result, yes, this is all we've asked for. This is what we wanted. We want people to take accountability for their screw-ups. Listen, if they brick it, they need to pay to unbrick it. There is a JTAG community shop right around the corner that can handle this, right? If this really is a huge epidemic, somebody will find a way to capitalize on it, and you'll ship them your Commodore 64 Ultimate, they'll JTAG it, and they'll put it back to stock firmware, and hopefully, once you spent $80 or something on doing that, you won't do that again. Thanks to everyone for sharing their ideas, opinions, and concern. By speaking up, you enabled us to engage in a dialogue. We can make sure everyone is heard and has a say in what they feel is best. Thank you for helping us get this 100% right. Commodore is the community. Yes, Commodore is the community, and the community is Commodore. There's no other way to paint this, but absolutely a perfect outcome. Everybody's getting what they want. Commodore is getting what they want. We're getting what we want. Maybe Commodore's getting it a little bit less if they still have to deal with the calls and the technical support, which, listen, I've worked tech support. I've worked production support. I understand how that can be. But again, this is what other companies do. And so I'm really proud of Commodore for making the right decision. They could have not made the right decision. They could have locked us out and told us later. They could have done that. There are companies that would have done that, but Commodore did not. So, all right, we can all put away the pitchforks, get rid of the boiling oil, and go back to enjoying our Commodore 64 Ultimates without having to worry about this. And we can get rid of the drama that's in the community now over it. So listen, thanks so much for watching. We're going to make this quick. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks for watching. Tons more Commodore 64 videos are coming. I know it's been a little bit slow. I've been a little under the weather, but hopefully this will help tide you over until we get the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time.